Nobody, and I mean nobody, expected the footage to leak. Not the fans, not the blogs, not even the people closest to Chrisean Rock. But tonight, everything has flipped upside down because Tesheki, the same Tasheki who used to defend Chrisean, the same Tesheki who babysat, protected, fought for her, just made the most shocking move of her entire life. She didn't post a rant. She didn't drop a thread. She didn't do an interview. She went straight to the police. And according to sources close to the situation, she handed over CCTV footage. Footage that she claims proves Chrisean Rock has been mistreating Baby Jr. behind closed doors. The internet is melting down. Tasheki snitched? Not Chrisean's own friend turning on her. What is in the footage? This is bad. Real bad. And the scariest part? Police didn't dismiss it. They didn't tell her to calm down. They didn't brush it off as drama. They acted. Within hours, Chrisean Rock was reportedly detained, questioned, and placed under an emergency investigation. All because Tesheki walked in with a drive full of clips that she says she couldn't keep quiet about anymore. But here's where things get insane. Sources claim the CCTV footage wasn't from a random babysitter camera, wasn't from a neighbor, wasn't secretly recorded. It was from inside a location Chrisean trusted, a location she never imagined had cameras, a location Tesheki allegedly had full access to. And what's in those clips? Whispers say it's loud, it's messy, it's emotional, and it's enough to change everything. Because what Tesheki leaked might be the one thing even Chrisean can't spin, can't fight, and can't escape this time. Before today, nobody could have imagined Tesheki turning on Chrisean. These two weren't just friends, they were dogs, ride or dies, the type to fight people in parking lots together, the type to go live and scream at the whole world together, the type to drag each other out of chaos only to jump back into a new one 5 minutes later. People used to joke that no matter what happened, no matter how many fallouts, Tesheki would always go back to defend Chrisean. So when news broke that she marched straight into a police station, not TMZ, not a blog, not Instagram Live, the entire internet knew this wasn't drama. This was desperation. This was betrayal. This was something darker. Because according to people close to Tesheki, she didn't just show up panicking. She showed up shaking, eyes red, voice breaking. One source said she looked like someone carrying a weight she'd been holding for months. She walked in with a USB drive clutched so tight it looked like she was scared to let go. And when the officer sat her down, she didn't start with accusations. She didn't start with anger. She didn't even start with the footage. She started with one sentence. I let it slide too long. Those 6 words changed everything. Because that told the police, and later the entire internet, that this wasn't a sudden fallout. This wasn't petty jealousy. This wasn't about clout or attention. This was something she had been watching, been noticing, been biting her tongue about, until something finally snapped. And here's the part people can't stop talking about. The CCTV footage wasn't an accident. It wasn't some random camera that happened to catch something. Tesheki installed those cameras. Not recently. Months ago. People close to her say she'd been uncomfortable with certain things she saw during late-night visits. Not all the time. Just certain moods, certain moments, certain explosive interactions that made her question what really happens behind closed doors. She didn't want to accuse Chrisean. She didn't want to start drama. She didn't want to break their friendship. So she decided, let the truth speak for itself. The cameras weren't hidden in creepy places. They were placed in rooms people wouldn't expect. A hallway, a side room, a back corner near the kitchen. Places Chrisean never thought twice about. But the footage they captured, according to sources who saw it before it went into police custody, it was enough. Enough to shift the entire energy around Baby Jr.'s safety. Enough to push Tesheki past the breaking point. Enough to make police take action without hesitation. Insiders say the clips weren't edited, weren't enhanced, weren't exaggerated. They were raw, chaotic, and heartbreaking. People who watched snippets say they heard shouting, objects hitting the floor, doors being slammed, moments where Junior was crying but not being soothed, moments where Chrisean seemed overwhelmed, pacing, yelling, phone in hand, arguing with someone who wasn't even in the room. But the most disturbing part wasn't the yelling. It was the pattern. One witness described it like this: "It wasn't one bad moment. It was a series, a build-up, a cycle." Another said, "She wasn't trying to hurt that baby, but she was unstable. And unstable plus a baby equals danger." And that is what made Tesheki snap. Not one incident, not one blow-up, not one accident, but a pattern she knew couldn't continue. Now let's rewind a bit, because this makes everything even messier. Chrisean had been going live constantly these past few weeks, screaming at Blueface, screaming at Jide and Alexis, screaming at fans, screaming at random bloggers, screaming about being tired, stressed, overwhelmed. She kept saying, "I'm doing everything on my own. I'm raising this baby solo. Nobody helps me." But behind the scenes, Tasheki was helping more than people realized. Babysitting overnight, bringing groceries, cleaning up after meltdowns, driving them around, helping with doctor's appointments, taking Junior when things got too heated. And every time she tried to talk to Chrisean about slowing down, calming down, taking breaks, getting therapy, getting help, Chrisean brushed her off. "Girl, I'm good. You act like I'm crazy. I don't need nobody. People always trying to judge me. I'm a real mother." Friends say that's when Tesheki began noticing the change. Not in Chrisean's love for her son, but in her ability to handle the pressure, the fame, the drama, the non-stop fights, the financial stress, the Blueface chaos, the online hate, the sleepless nights, the drinking, the crowds of people in and out of the house, the paranoia, the mood swings. It started wearing her down, and the baby was caught in the middle. People close to the situation say the CCTV clips show moments where Chrisean wasn't angry at Junior. She was angry at everything else. And Junior happened to be there. And that is what scared Tesheki. That is why she acted. That is why she said, "I let it slide too long." Because she wasn't trying to destroy Chrisean. She was trying to protect Junior. Now here's where things get even crazier. The police didn't just watch the footage and shrug. They didn't say, "We need more." They didn't ask for a second witness. They took immediate action. That means whatever they saw was serious. Serious enough to put Chrisean on hold. Serious enough to trigger protective protocols. Serious enough to make officers request follow-up investigation into the home. And the craziest rumor right now? A CPS emergency worker supposedly reached out for immediate review because the footage may show emotional instability and unsafe home conditions, even if no direct physical harm took place. But wait, the story gets even darker. Right after Tasheki filed the report, someone connected to Chrisean started posting cryptic warnings. "Fake friends expose you when they jealous. She ain't loyal. She been waiting to snake." This whole thing reeks of setup. But insiders claim it's not jealousy, it's guilt. Because someone else in the house allegedly knew about the behavior too, and didn't report it. Police are reportedly looking into that person as well. And now the internet is losing its mind because everyone wants to know. What exactly is in those clips? How bad does it get? Does Chrisean know which cameras recorded her? Will the footage leak publicly? Is Junior being moved? And is this the final breaking point for the Chrisean-Tasheki friendship? The moment the police took that USB drive into the back room, everything changed. The energy shifted. Officers who were joking a few minutes earlier suddenly went quiet, leaning forward, staring at the monitor with their jaws clenched. One officer reportedly muttered, "Run it again." Another whispered, "That's not normal. something else. And as Tasheki sat outside the door, she kept rubbing her hands together, pacing, muttering to herself. I did what I had to. I did what I had to. She wasn't celebrating. She wasn't proud. She wasn't smug. She was terrified. Because deep down, she knew this wasn't going to stay private for long. Not with who was involved. Not with the level of fame tied to this baby. Not with how fast rumors spread online. And she wasn't wrong. Within 40 minutes, someone in that precinct leaked the news to a blogger. Chrisean Rock being questioned for child endangerment, footage involved. The blogger posted it instantly. And that was the match that lit the entire internet on fire. Chrisean fans went feral. You lying? Tesheki would never. Junior is safe. Y'all do too much. This is Blueface's team behind this, I swear. But the hate wasn't just coming from fans. It was coming from Chrisean too. Because the moment police detained her, she went live. Disheveled, breathing heavy, eyes wide, mascara smudged. She screamed into the phone. Whoever snitched on me? You a dead woman on my son. You dead to me. People in the comments immediately panicked. She doesn't know it's Tasheki. Oh, this about to be bad. Wait, dead woman? That's threatening. She's spiraling fast. Meanwhile, at the precinct, the officers weren't just watching the footage. They were debating how to handle it. Loudly. One said, "She clearly loves the kid. But this isn't stable." Another responded, "We can't ignore what we just saw." A third officer whispered, "She's spiraling on live right now. That tells you everything." And the clip that made all three officers exchange looks? A moment where Junior is crying uncontrollably in the background while Chrisean is pacing, yelling at someone on the phone, her voice cracking, hands shaking, knocking things over without realizing it. Not intentional harm, not violence, but instability, chaotic instability, dangerous instability. And while the police were deciding what to do next, Blueface entered the chat. He posted, "So now y'all believe me, huh? I've been saying this. That baby not safe with her." The internet exploded, because Blueface inserting himself into any situation makes it 100 times worse. Fans wrote, "Blueface, go play with your 15 baby mamas. You ain't no saint either. Don't act like you didn't abuse her too. You are not the savior in this story." But the twist? People close to the situation claim Blueface already had a copy of the CCTV footage because someone close to Tesheki sent it to him days before she went to police. This means he knew what was coming. He knew Chrisean was about to get exposed. He knew she'd lose it. And some believe he even encouraged Tasheki to turn the footage in, not to protect Junior, but to win custody battles and ruin Chrisean's image. But that theory shattered fast when the first twist came in. According to an IG insider, Tesheki saved multiple clips, but only turned in one. One clip. The mildest one. The one that looked concerning but not catastrophic. Which means she is still hiding the others. And sources claim the other clips are far worse. One insider said, "If what she gave police was the least problematic clip, you don't want to know what's on the rest of that drive." And when police asked her, "Is this everything?" she hesitated. A long, uncomfortable silence. Then she shook her head. No. The officers froze. She reached into her bag and pulled out a second USB. But this time, she didn't hand it over. She held it, gripped it, tears filling her eyes. And she said, "This one. I'm scared to turn in. I don't want them to take him. I don't want them to ruin her life. I want her to get help." The police exchanged glances, because that meant she saw something so extreme she was scared of the consequences, for both Junior and Chrisean. But then came the first major twist. Someone else had already seen that second clip and had already leaked that they had a copy. A reseller page, a burner account, a cloud link with a cryptic caption. The real footage. The precinct phone started ringing. A reporter called asking, "Is it true there's a second clip? One much worse? One already circulating?" Police had no idea what she meant, but the internet did. A Twitter account posted, "I saw it, oh my God. Y'all not ready for what's coming." Comments blew up, "Drop it. Post it, coward. DM me? This gonna ruin her. No way it's real. Somebody leak it now." Then a fan said something chilling. "If that clip leaks before the police see it, Chrisean going to jail tonight. No question." Meanwhile, inside the precinct, Chrisean was screaming, "I did not hurt my baby. You can't take him. Tesheki, you snake. You dead to me." She still didn't know Tasheki was the one who turned it in. And she still didn't know there was a second clip floating around the internet that she didn't even know was recorded. During all this chaos, the police returned to the room and told Tesheki, "We need the second clip." She whispered, "I can't." They repeated, "You need to give it to us." She repeated, "I can't." One officer said, "If you withhold evidence involving a minor, you can be charged too." She went pale, but she still didn't hand it over. And here's where the madness peaks. Someone close to her claims the real reason she's scared to turn in the second clip is because she's in it, not hurting the baby, but failing to intervene. In the background, watching, frozen, not reacting quick enough, not stepping in, not stopping the spiral. Which means if the second clip goes public, she gets exposed too. And that is when the story explodes completely. Because the second twist is that Tesheki is trying to protect herself just as much as she's trying to protect Junior. So now police are pressuring her. Bloggers are hunting the clip. Blueface is stirring the pot. Fans are raging. CPS is circling. And Chrisean is out for blood. And the wildest part? Rumors say that second clip will leak within the next 24 hours. And it's going to destroy everybody involved. It started with a whisper, a single tweet, a random burner account with no profile picture and a username full of numbers. The kind of account nobody pays attention to. But the message? It's uploading. The internet froze. Immediately, replies exploded. Uploading what? The second clip? No way. Drop it now. This about to be bad. Within minutes, other burner accounts began echoing it. Clip 2 is coming. Brace yourselves. People are not ready. And that's when the panic hit the precinct. Because police had just told Tesheki, "Hand it over, all of it, now." But she sat there, shoulders trembling, staring at the floor as if the tiles were swallowing her whole. She whispered, "I'm scared. I don't want to lose her. I don't want people to think I chose the internet over my friend." One officer leaned forward. "You didn't choose the internet. The internet chose you." At that exact moment, a phone buzzed. An officer checked his screen. His face dropped. He whispered, It leaked." Meanwhile, across the city, Chrisean was still in the precinct room, slamming the walls, screaming at officers, pacing like a trapped animal. Every time she glanced at her phone, new comments popped up on her live. "The second clip is out. Girl, you done. Junior deserves better. I can't defend you anymore." She yelled into the phone, "Stop lying, ain't no second clip." But the look on her face changed the moment an officer walked in holding his phone. He whispered something to another officer, both of their faces tightening. Then he looked at Chrisean. His eyes were full of something different. Not annoyance, not judgment, not anger, pity. Her whole body tensed. "What?" she demanded. What happened? Nobody answered. She knew. Her chin started shaking, her voice broke. What leaked? But let's rewind, because what leaked was not only devastating, it was the exact clip Tesheki was refusing to hand over. The one she was scared to show police. The one that showed her in the room. The one that showed her frozen. The one that showed how bad things really got. The second footage wasn't chaotic like the first. It was worse. It was quiet. Too quiet. It showed a moment where the house was tense. The kind of tension you feel before a storm hits. Junior was in his swing, babbling, fidgeting, starting to fuss. Chrisean walked into the room, frustrated, pacing, phone glued to her ear, yelling at someone. Her voice wasn't just angry this time. It was broken. Raw. Real. She screamed, "Why you always playing with me? Why you doing this?" You could hear the person on the other end yelling back. Then, Junior flinched from the volume. And instead of turning the volume down, instead of handing the baby off, instead of stepping away, she got louder. Her pacing grew faster, her arm movements sharper, her breathing heavier. And that's when Tasheki appeared in the corner of the clip, standing by the door, watching, eyes wide, frozen. She wasn't holding the baby. She wasn't intervening. She wasn't calming the situation. She was witnessing it. A baby crying, a mother spiraling, a phone call escalating, and the room filling with a suffocating emotional storm. The worst part? At one point, Junior reached his arms up, seeking comfort. And Chrisean didn't notice. She didn't touch him, didn't look at him, didn't acknowledge him. She was locked in an explosive argument, emotionally, psychologically gone. And that was the clip that leaked. The internet broke instantly. I feel sick watching this. I can't defend her anymore. That baby just wanted to be held. This is not okay. Not even a little bit. She's not hurting him, but she's not okay. But then came the darkest part. The clip showed a moment where Chrisean threw her phone down so hard it bounced off the floor. And Junior screamed. She didn't hurt him, not physically. But the emotional blowback was visible. Overwhelming, terrifying. The baby's cries turned desperate, high-pitched, panicked, and Tesheki still didn't move. Frozen, paralyzed, torn between love for her friend and fear for the baby. That 10-second hesitation is what the internet attacked instantly. Why didn't she pick him up? Tesheki was right there. How do you watch that and do nothing? She's just as responsible. The comments grew uglier by the minute. Then Blueface jumped back in with the most toxic line of the night. I told y'all she ain't stable. Now you see it for yourselves. But the plot twist? People didn't defend him this time. They turned on him too. You caused half her trauma. You not the hero here. You started this chaos. You don't get credit for calling out the fire you helped build. While all of social media was imploding, Chrisean finally saw the clip. An officer held the phone up silently. She watched herself pacing, yelling, throwing the phone, Junior crying in panic. Her face collapsed. She whispered, "No, no, 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 no. That's not what it looks like. I didn't mean to." Her voice cracked in a way the internet had never heard. For the first time ever, the tough girl, the fighter, the brawler, the unshakable Chrisean Rock, looked like a terrified mother who realized the world was seeing the worst moment of her life. She grabbed her head, crying, "Why would you do this to me? Why would you record this? Why did you keep this?" But she didn't realize she wasn't yelling at the police. She was yelling at Tesheki, who was in the next room, shaking, sobbing, listening to her best friend realize the truth. Because the truth was brutal. If Tesheki had stepped in, if she had grabbed Junior, if she had calmed the situation, if she had intervened, none of this would be happening. And she knew it. But here's where the escalation hits a crazier level. Another burner account posted. That's not even the worst clip. The internet collectively gasped. A second tweet followed. There's a third clip. People lost their minds. A third? What is going on in that house? How many cameras did Tesheki install? Why did she wait so long? Police immediately demanded, "How many clips are there?" Tasheki whispered, "3." They told her, "We need the third." She covered her face and sobbed. That one will end everything." Police went silent. Because if the first clip got Chrisean questioned, and the second clip leaked and caused national outrage, what could the third clip possibly show? And more importantly, why is Tesheki more afraid of that one than the others? One thing is clear. The third clip is coming. Someone out there already has a copy, and when it drops, this entire situation is going to explode again. The public reaction to the second clip wasn't normal outrage. It was hysteria. It was a social earthquake. Within minutes, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, every platform exploded like a bomb had gone off. People weren't arguing. People weren't debating. People weren't analyzing. People were screaming. Comments everywhere. "I feel sick, this is horrible. Junior deserves peace. This confirms everything people suspected. This is trauma in the making. Someone needs to intervene now." But the internet wasn't just attacking Chrisean. It was turning viciously against Tesheki too. Hundreds of thousands of comments said the same thing. Why didn't she pick the baby up? Tesheki stood there like a statue. She let it happen. This is why she hid the third clip. She's just as guilty. For the first time ever, the internet wasn't choosing sides. They were condemning both women. And Blueface? He poured gasoline on the fire. He posted, "I tried to tell y'all. Y'all defended a demon for months. Now the truth out." The backlash was immediate. "You traumatized her. You put her through hell. You don't get to act righteous now. You're the reason she spiraled. You're the last person who should talk." But Blueface wasn't done. He went live waving his phone. "I got the third clip too. Don't play with me." People lost their minds. Drop it. Stop. Don't do it. You just want custody. If you leak it, you just as sick. Meanwhile, celebrities started reacting. Cardi B tweeted, "This whole situation making me sad. That baby don't deserve none of this." Summer Walker reposted the clip with the caption, "Too much trauma. Too much chaos. Someone needs to step in." Keke Palmer wrote, "When a mother is overwhelmed and unsupported, this is the result. This isn't villain versus hero. This is a mental health emergency." Even Tamar Braxton commented, "Everybody failed that baby. Everybody." But then the most shocking reaction came from someone unexpected. Jideen Alexis. She posted a simple message. "Praying for Junior. No shade, no laughing, no gloating. Just a sincere message." And that is what sent the internet into pure confusion. Because if Jideen, the woman Chrisean fought, dragged, humiliated, exposed, insulted, is posting prayers instead of laughing, you know the situation is dark. But what happened next is what truly shattered the internet. A CPS worker, anonymously, commented under a viral post, "This is now officially escalated. Our office has been instructed to review all footages as they come in." People panicked. CPS is involved? She's losing custody. This is bad OMFG. But then they added, "The second clip alone was concerning. If there is a third clip more severe, intervention will be immediate." That comment reached millions within minutes. But the industry reaction went even further. A reality TV producer tweeted, "I've been around a lot of drama. This This is not normal. This is not safe. This is not messy. This is a crisis. A network executive wrote, "This footage cannot be ignored. We've seen enough to understand why her team is panicking." A PR insider said, "Her career won't survive the third clip." The internet froze at that sentence. Because if PR people are already calling it unsalvageable, what the hell does that third clip show? Blogs started piecing together details. One said, Clip 1, Sark instability. Clip 2, X, emotional breakdown. Clip 3, X, unknown but allegedly ruinous, according to insiders. Another wrote, industry people whisper the third video is the reason Tesheki didn't hand it in. She knows the public won't forgive what's on it. Comments everywhere. Drop it. We need the truth. No, don't drop it. The baby will suffer more. This is about Junior now, not clout. This is heartbreaking. Every adult around him failed. Then suddenly, a random TikTok account, newly made, 0 followers, posted a 5-second clip. Not the full third clip, but a blurry frame from it. Just one frame. But it was enough to send the world into total meltdown. Because in that frame, Chrisean wasn't the only one in the room. Someone else was there. A man, not Blueface, not a friend, not a family member. Someone nobody recognized. And he was close to Junior. Too close. The internet combusted. Who is that? That's not Blueface. That's not her brother. That's not anybody we've seen before. Who TF is this man? People started zooming, enhancing, screenshotting every pixel. Some said he looked like he was trying to help. Some said he looked like he was interfering. Some said he looked like he was arguing. Some said he was grabbing for something. Some said he was picking Junior up wrong. Nobody agreed. But everyone agreed on one thing. The third clip didn't just show instability. It showed another adult involved. Which leads to the scariest public theory. The third clip might implicate more than just Chrisean and Tasheki. A CPS whistleblower commented, "If another adult was present, we need to know their role. That changes everything." Meanwhile, back in the precinct, officers were now dealing with a multi-layered crisis. A mother spiraling emotionally. A best friend withholding damning evidence. A viral leak causing public pressure. CPS stepping in. Blueface fanning flames. A mystery man in the third video. A baby caught in the middle of absolute chaos. Police whispered among themselves, "If that third clip leaks first, we lose control of this case." Another replied, "The internet is already controlling it." The moment the blurry frame went viral, one officer stormed into Tesheki's room. "We need the third clip, now." She finally broke. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I just wanted her to get better. I didn't want her locked up. I didn't want her dragged. I didn't want strangers judging her." But it was too late. The world had already seen the frame. The world was already demanding answers. The world was already dissecting the man in the background. And the world was already preparing for the full third clip to drop at any moment. One blogger posted, "You thought clip 2 was bad? Clip 3 is the one that destroys reputations, friendships, careers, everything." And the final comment that shook TikTok. The third clip doesn't just expose neglect. It exposes betrayal. The public is in full meltdown. And the third clip is coming. The precinct went silent the moment that blurry frame hit the internet. An image so grainy, so unclear, yet so unmistakably alarming that even seasoned officers paused mid-sentence. Because everyone knew, if there was another adult in that room, then the entire narrative was about to flip. Not just about neglect, not just about instability, but something deeper, something darker, something that finally explained why Tesheki nearly collapsed when police demanded the third clip. While the world was melting down online, the tension inside the precinct reached a breaking point. Officers stood over Tesheki, voices shaking with urgency. Who is that man? What was he doing in the house? Why didn't you tell us there was a third party? But Tesheki wouldn't look up, wouldn't speak, wouldn't breathe. She just repeated one sentence through shaking lips. I wasn't supposed to be there that day, and neither was he. Those words hit the room like gunfire. Because that meant the third clip didn't just expose Chrisean, it exposed a situation that even Tasheki was scared to acknowledge. Meanwhile, inside the next room, Chrisean was spiraling harder than ever, pacing so violently officers had to keep stepping back. She screamed, "Who is posting my baby online? I swear to God, I'm gonna... But she never finished the sentence. Her voice cracked mid-threat. She slumped into the corner, trembling, hands over her face. And that's when her phone, confiscated by police but still unlocked on a desk, began blowing up with notifications. Unknown number. They saw him. Unknown number. The clip wasn't supposed to leak. Unknown number. We need to talk now. One officer glanced at the screen and whispered, "Who the hell is that?" Because whoever was texting her wasn't confused, wasn't shocked, wasn't denying anything. They were panicking for the same reason Tesheki was. The man in the clip wasn't supposed to be seen. But here's where the twist hits. The internet did what the internet does best. Detectives with too much free time started zooming, enhancing, brightening, screenshotting, comparing angles. Until one detail emerged. A tattoo. A faint, barely visible tattoo on the man's wrist. One fan posted, "Wait, I know that tattoo." Another, "Yo, that's not a random dude." A TikTok video went viral. "That's Blueface's security guy." The internet froze, then detonated. No way. Why would Blueface's security be near Junior? What was he doing there? Why did Tesheki hide this? This is way bigger than any of us thought. And this is the moment everything flipped from messy to sinister. Because now the speculation wasn't about Chrisean's instability. It was about, why was a grown man tied to Blueface inside the house, unannounced, uninvited, undocumented, while Chrisean was spiraling with her baby? Who brought him there? Who let him in? What was he doing? Was he intervening? Was he controlling the situation? Was he recording something himself? Was he part of the chaos? And then came the darkest question of all. Why did Tesheki freeze when he stepped into the room? Witnesses claim the third clip didn't show violence, but it showed something emotionally disturbing. This man stepping forward as Junior cried, and Chrisean stepping back, backing away, letting him reach toward the baby, letting him decide what happened next. The internet went insane. No, why was she backing up? Why did she let that man near her baby? She looked scared of him. This looks like control, not help. Is this man involved in their personal life? But the scariest reaction came from someone unexpected. Blueface's other baby mama on her burner. That man been shady. And then, the ex-security guy himself posted a cryptic story. A black screen, white text. "Don't believe the internet. Y'all only saw 10 seconds. It was deleted 40 seconds later. Police screenshotted it instantly. Now the internet was convulsing. What does that mean? What happened after that 10 seconds? What is he hiding? What is Tasheki hiding? Meanwhile, back in the precinct, the lead officer snapped, "We need the third clip right now." When Tasheki finally lifted her head, tears streaking down her cheeks, she whispered, "If that clip gets out, Chrisean isn't the only one who's going down." The officer replied, "It's already leaking piece by piece. Help us before it drops." Then, A scream from the other room. Chrisean. She had heard enough through the walls. It was him? That man? Tesheki, you let him in my house? You let him touch my baby? You knew? She was howling. Not from anger, but pure betrayal. Because she finally understood. The third clip wasn't just damning. It was exposing someone she didn't trust, someone she didn't invite, someone she had no idea was in her home that day. And then she yelled the line that turned this story from chaos into full-blown horror. That man works for Blueface. The entire precinct froze. Because if that was true, this wasn't a simple case of neglect. This wasn't a meltdown. This wasn't instability. This was a setup, a trap, a staged disaster caught on camera with multiple adults involved. And if Blueface's security was there, why? At whose request? Doing what? Watching who? Recording what? And then, Chrisean whispered something even darker. That wasn't the first time he was in the house. The officer nearly dropped his pen. That man has been near your baby before. Her lips trembled. Yes. Now the internet's biggest question is the one even police are scared to ask. Was the third clip accidental? Or was it recorded because someone wanted it to leak? And if so, who was actually behind the camera? Who installed the footage? Who leaked the frame? Who sent the burner accounts? Who is trying to ruin who? But the real cliffhanger? The anonymous account that leaked the frame posted again. Full clip drops at midnight. And the post had one emoji. A baby bottle. This story isn't over. It's about to explode. And now you see exactly why the internet is shaking. The second clip wasn't the end. The blurry frame wasn't the peak. The meltdown at the precinct wasn't the climax. The real firestorm is about to hit, because the anonymous burner account just announced it. The full third clip drops at midnight. And that clip doesn't just show Chrisean. It doesn't just show Tasheki paralyzed. It doesn't just show Junior crying. It shows him the mystery man, the man with the tattoo, the man people say works for Blueface, the man Chrisean claims she never invited, the man nobody can explain, the man standing too close to her baby at the worst possible moment. This isn't just drama anymore. This isn't petty revenge. This isn't messy friendship fallout. This is a crisis with moving pieces. And the next move happens in hours. So now I need you. Drop your comment right now. Do you believe that man was really Blueface's security? Do you think this was a setup to destroy Chrisean? Was Tesheki protecting Junior or protecting herself? Should the third clip even be released publicly? Or will it traumatize Junior forever? And who do you think leaked the blurry frame first? Like this video right now, so YouTube pushes it to more people who need to know the truth. Subscribe because midnight is coming fast. And when that full third clip drops, when the internet goes to war again, when Blueface responds, when Chrisean breaks her silence, when Tasheki finally confesses, I'll be right here covering every detail the second it hits the internet. Stay locked in. Because if you think tonight was wild, what happens at midnight might change everything.